Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I thought I'd come back with a video about how to make homemade crumpets. These are extremely easy to make. It's a homemade yeasted bread that does not require any kneading at all, and you cook them on the stovetop, so they're super easy. Crumpets are super popular in the UK, and a few months ago I had a craving for crumpets, and I started to realize they're just not that common here. I haven't eaten a crumpet in probably 15 years or more, but I just suddenly had this craving. So I embarked on a mission to find a good recipe, and I found that as I was making crumpets at home, I kept thinking, why am I doing this wrong? They're so fluffy. They're so golden brown. Crumpets are supposed to be kind of sponge-like and pale. And then I realized that no, that's just the crumpets that we're used to in North America. They're actually quite fluffy and golden in their country of origin. And so this got me down sort of a YouTube research spiral, and I came to understand that a lot of people in North America don't even know what crumpets are. They're really not that popular here, to be honest. A lot of grocery stores don't even carry them. And so I decided to do an Instagram poll, and 40% of people had never even heard of a crumpet before. And most of my following is in the US and Canada. I wouldn't be surprised if they're popular in certain parts of Canada and the US, for example, areas with a large British population. And through some research, I found that there are areas in the US where they don't even exist. They have this kind of beautiful, almost slightly malty flavor that happens due to the chemical reaction of the baking soda combined with that yeasted flavor. It's really nice. All right, this is my version of a recipe. I found the old sort of 17 and 1800s tutorials to be super interesting. However, I don't really want to stir my batter with a twig. So I ended up kind of evolving the recipe and of course adding maple syrup because I'm Canadian, and voila, we have Mandy's version of crumpets. So the recipe is linked on my blog, which will be linked below. And okay, no more talking. Let's crumpet.
Ingredients for this recipe are very simple and standard. We're going to use flour, either all-purpose flour or spelt flour, baking soda, salt, and then mix them together. And then in the center, we'll form a little well with our spoon. This is a pretty typical way of making bread. And you can pretty much guess that the yeast is going to go in the center. There we are, as well as the warm water. And then we're also going to add the olive oil, very precisely measured, and the maple syrup, also very precisely measured, and mix it all together. And this is going to activate the yeast, which will then bloom. So we'll leave it for 10 minutes. Just walk away and come back, and you'll see that it's nicely puffed up. So first we're just going to whisk together all of the wet ingredients and then slowly bring in the dry ingredients from the side. You don't have to use a miniature Barbie whisk for this like I'm doing. You can use just a regular dinner fork and that will be totally fine. This is actually more of a batter, so here it's sat for an hour. You can see it's quite jiggly. I bought a set of egg or pancake rings. I searched crumpet rings and all of the ones in North America seemed to be called egg and pancake rings. So it's the same thing. You can get any brand. The ones that I got came 4 in a set, and you'll need a large frying pan that's non-stick with oil in the bottom. And now we'll take our batter and just spoon it evenly into the rings while the pan is hot. And of course, just like with pancakes, if you put more oil in the bottom, you're going to have crispier bottoms on your stovetop bread. You can see here they're starting to puff up nicely, so we don't want to overfill the rings. I tried to use the plastic handle for this video only, and just don't do it. The plastic handle is completely unnecessary. It melted and it was not effective. Just use tongs to remove the rings. It will be much faster and easier. They take about 5 minutes on one side, and then flip them over and just a minute or so on the other side, and you can see they are so beautifully crisp and golden brown. And then you can see the other side is slightly less crispy. So now let's break one open and see how fluffy they are. Just imagine this slathered with your favorite jam. It's a perfect treat. They freeze well, you can toast them up, but of course eating them fresh is recommended.